Tonight's show is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every Cougar basketball hour this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Now, alongside Washington State women's basketball coach Kamie Ethridge, here's Steve Grubbs.
Well, thank you very much, and a very pleasant good evening to you all, and a happy Tuesday as we welcome you to our first Coaches Show of the season, the Kamie Ethridge Coaches Hour, the basketball coaches show with the head coach of Washington State University basketball. Coach, how great is it to be back here doing this for another season? Not only to be with our friends, but I think we can officially call them family of Washington State University women's basketball.
It's really true. I mean, you know, I look up in the stands, but I don't see everybody, and it's so good to see this exact crew, and again, just beyond fans, beyond friends, and just really appreciate everybody coming out. So excited to be here. It feels good, and obviously it's always good to feel good.
Yes, it does. It always does feel good to feel good. And here we are. We're Tuesday nights now this season. So Tuesday nights, 6 until 7, we'll be right here at the Lumberyard, right here in Pullman. And we'll visit with Coach Ethridge. We will also visit with players throughout the course of the season as well. Here we've got a player that's making her way here that had a pretty good performance on Sunday. Alex Colville is going to be our guest tonight. Is that correct?
I think she's made it. She's here. She's in the house.
All right. So
she brought a little rugrat next to her, but we'll make her speak another night.
Okay, all right. We'll talk to LA, who is also here in attendance as well. Again, so much to get to as we're about halfway through the season. We played a couple of months, got a couple months to go, so we'll talk about what's happened throughout the course of the season. We're already now 4 games into West Coast Conference play, as well as we had 4 games in a week's time of West Coast Conference play. And then, of course, we've got the upcoming schedule. We'll visit with Alex as well. Let's just start, Coach, with 2 months in. I know that the record isn't what you wanted it to be. Just give us kind of your thoughts on where the program is and where we're kind of going as far as we get ready for this next chunk of schedule in the month of January.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. Clearly, you know, I've said it over and over, and I know this group has heard me say it, so they're probably sick of hearing me. But, you know, we make the schedule like good 8 months in advance. A lot of the games that we had scheduled were return games. So we started at Oregon last year. They were returning to us. Texas Tech was a home and home. Stanford was a home and home. So some of those were just built in. We had those games. You know, and you don't know that you're going to lose, you know, some kids off your program, off your team, and a big chunk of minutes that walked out the door. You know, signed some good kids and some kids that we thought would be really, really great role players, but just almost made them have to be too much too soon for where they are in their career and their journey. So we have that 11-man roster. And then I think things are going great in the preseason, and then Lauren goes down with a stress fracture, and that takes her out. And then before you know it, in 2 games in, Alex has a stress fracture. So it just completely takes some people that have really game experience off the court, and now everybody on the court is a role player, but expected to find ways to be the stability for us. And that's a hard thing for freshmen and sophomores and people that haven't been under the bright lights before and haven't had to produce to be consistently good enough. LA has been unbelievable. She's had her ups and downs on just body and injuries, and she's just been beat up. She's been sick. You know, she's everything that could happen kind of for her has kind of gone wrong, but she still somehow gets up and plays the next day and consistently produces for us. So now we just get to the point where, I mean, the last thing I would say in answering this really long answer is, you know, I think we've played a half of a game with the full roster, and that game was Pepperdine. So that's when Alex came back from her stress fracture, and then halfway through the game she broke her nose and she's off the court. And ever since then, Marta hurts her shoulder, and so she's been out since Alex has come back. So we have literally played half of a game all this entire season with a full roster. So, you know, just rolled the dice and tried to play with a little bit smaller roster. I thought if we could stay healthy, we'd be really competitive, and I still believe that. So we're getting healthy at the right time. We've got to roll through conference. We got to compete every game. We got to expect to win every game and want to walk on the court and compete in every game. And I think we can. So just appreciate everybody in here. I know you guys are anxious to see us succeed a little bit more, and I really think we're at least getting healthy and have a chance to do that.
Yeah, I mean, again, you take a look at the non-conference schedule and you take a look at the net rankings and the teams that we had to play. So many of them are right in that range of top 100, top 50 programs that we were playing up against in the non-conference portion of the schedule. And then, as you mentioned, just a half of a game with a full roster at this point. Is there also a thought process that, okay, that's kind of been our trial under fire. Now, again, knock on wood, whatever it is, we get healthy, we get that full roster back. Now the players that were pushed into bigger minutes at the start of the season, they've had that experience now, and that may be a help to us in the second half of the season?
Well, I think that's the idea. I mean, I think at this point, Shaw has to produce for us. I mean, she's the next player, I think, that just has a comfort, has a game that she needs to knock down some threes. When does that player consistently step into that role of, I'm going to get you 10 points at least every game? And, because you're going to get, a good 10, 15, 20 from Alex and LA for the most part. And so now you've got to find 2 or 3 other people that can produce, double-digit points and are on the floor long enough and are efficient enough in their game to be able to do that. Shaw is more than capable of doing that. And I think Malia's been amazing. I think Malia has done an amazing job this year.
Yeah. Freshman out of Pasco, Washington, averaging double digits game.
And I want her to start because I just think she deserves it. She got in a little foul trouble in this last game, and there's going to be some games where it's a hard matchup with her and Alex on the court at the same time, but we also need it to be a hard matchup for the other team when Alex and Malia are on the court at the same time. So I think Malia has the mindset and the confidence and the game that she can produce, maybe double digits for us in the scoring column. And if we can just find 4 or 5 players hitting double figures, it just every single game it gives us a chance. And we didn't get it the last game. I mean, I think we had these 2 that were amazing, and 26 and 24 or 22, I don't know what they had, and then again we fell off, and we've just got to get that consistency from those. They're not role players anymore. We got to find a couple of others that are just like, this is what you can expect from me, coach. Every single time you put me in the game, this is what I'm going to get. And I think we've got a couple of players ready for that, and then others need to fill in the gaps and be just unbelievable role players, and maybe one game they get 6 and maybe another game they get 9.
Right.
But we got to get those players. Lauren's another player that could get hot and be streaky and get you 9 points, but we got to consistently produce that every single night.
Again, Sir Cougar Coaches Show with the head coach of Washington State University basketball, Kamie Ethridge, your Cougar Basketball Hour. We're here from the Lumberyard. We're going to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the big win that we had on Sunday, the great performances from a couple of individuals. Again, they're here in attendance. Go ahead and give them a round of applause for what they were able to do against Seattle University. We'll talk more with the head coach, Kamie Ethridge. We'll preview what's ahead, and we'll also talk with Alex Cobu. It's all straight ahead. Happy to be with you on a Tuesday night. Again, it's the Cougar Basketball Hour right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Well, we're back here once again to the Lumberyard in Pullman. It is your Cougar Basketball Hour with the head coach of Washington State University Basketball, Kamie Ethridge, as we head your way every Tuesday night now for the rest of the season, taking you up as we'll get some home games this week. Again, 4 games into the West Coast Conference schedule. The Junior Cougar Kids Club presented by Toyota. It's the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars, and it's the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. Always love having the youngsters out at Beasley Coliseum. Just, again, the fan support that you have gotten over the years, and certainly even here tonight at the Lumberyard. Just how special is that to you? How special is that to the players when they come into this environment and see the people that are supporting them in this community for this university and your program in a special?
Well, it's huge, and you know, we had an unbelievable turnout in Seattle.
Yeah,
I think
we
we
did.
had more people than Seattle had. So we've had a good fan base that turned out at Portland, and you know, Cougs show up, and you know, the unfortunate thing is that we have an old building that seats too many people, and no one wants to be in that building with 13,000 seats in this day and age. So I do think we have a really good, solid fan base that shows up and just gives so much to us. Certainly the people in this room. Would we like it to be more? I know everybody would like it to be more for us. And maybe I'm not giving up on it. I think it's going to happen. But I so appreciate the people that do show up and continue to show up. Little kids, you know, it's an amazing environment when you get people in the stands.
Last year we were able to take some questions from the people here. Are you good with that again if we take some questions?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we've got
some hard questions.
Some hard questions, I guess, either for Coach or for Alex. Anything you want. We got some slips of paper up here by the stage. You can grab a pen. You can grab a piece of paper if you got a question for the coach or for Alex. You can write that down, and that way we will get that asked. Let's go back to the last game, Seattle University. Obviously a nice one for you guys, and talk about what you saw out of Alex again. Came back after the long layoff, played just a half against Pepperdine, and then was able to go almost 36 minutes, and ends up with her career high in points, a double-double, 7 block shots, all of those career highs, and 3 blocks away from a triple-double. Just your thoughts on what you saw out of Alex.
Well, we didn't have time to talk as a team afterwards, so I didn't even get to brag on her. So thank you for bragging on her and repeating all those unbelievable things, because we were out on the court, they were showering, we were trying to catch a flight. So I don't know if she's just sat and watched and been so frustrated, and I know our entire team is frustrated sometimes with our performance and some of the results, and I think she's just sat there and said, I can help us, and I think understands what she needs to do to help us. And she came back aggressive, solid in her post moves, very rested. She shouldn't have any resting issues, but to play that many minutes, I mean, what stupid coach would play her that many minutes and that fast? But, you know, I just really liked her competitiveness. She was solid. You know, and I've said it all along, like, I don't know if that she can produce. I'd like her to produce 26 points a night. I mean, I don't want to put pressure on her or anything, but she does. She's going to give you, you know, 10, 12, 15 points a night. She's going to get those shots, and she's going to make those. But on the other side of the ball, she's going to affect 15 points. You know, she's going to keep people from scoring because of her length and her shot blocking and her presence in the post. And, I mean, that's a big swing. That's a big presence. That's a big swing in what we can produce. Now, again, not enough help around this group, those 2 people. But, gosh, we just need that kind of, you know, commitment, that kind of, we call it grr. You know, ask her about grr.
Okay.
Like, she's got to find the grr in her. And she's, you know, sometimes just the savage. She's got to continue to be savage when she catches it, and twitchy and quick and explosive, and, you know, put herself in positions to make plays and to make shots. And, again, I think you know, we can all just be sad about what we haven't had for 6 weeks or 7 weeks. You know, obviously, I think if she'd been on the court for 7 weeks, we probably would have a different record. But we've got her now, and we got to find a way to make the most of her being in there, and we got to make sure that we support her, around her and get great production around her.
Well, and I was talking to people after the game that were asking me about her performance, and the thing that I said was almost like three-pronged. One is that, again, after having a couple games off, right from the get-go, she seemed like she was engaged and ready to go from the opening tip in that game. The second thing was, I think we saw some post moves from her in the post and in the paint that I thought we haven't seen them before, but maybe just on a consistent basis, where she was making some crossover moves and making some, and then just the impact that she's able to have on both ends of the court by having that post presence kind of just opens up the court and makes things freer for you guys too, doesn't it?
Well, there's no question, and Malia's been a great addition to us, but her back to the basket post moves are completely, that's an area that's just going to grow and grow and grow for her. Her three-point shooting and her stretching the defense has been massive for us. I mean, she's helped us in that way. Her screening has been amazing for us, and she creates opportunities for other people. Alex gives you the scoring punch in there, and that people have to, they have to scout her. They have to have a plan for her. She's going to see way different defenses as she goes. She's going to get some real physicality and some fronting, and we've got to find ways to get her the ball no matter what people are doing. And she just had a mindset that she was going to get the ball and she was going to score it. Yeah, I think she got a shot blocked, and she recovered and had some step-through moves after that. I mean, she's a seasoned player that kind of understands, okay, that happened to me now I'm going to set it up and I'm going to get the next thing, because she knows the game and understands what she needs to do to get her shot off. The only thing I was really worried about is she kind of taunted a kid and pointed at a kid, and I was like, oh great, we're going to have a technical because Alex is doing some. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if they were bantering back and forth on the court, but I was about to have a heart attack when she pointed at the kid after she scored on her.
No, that's that GUR factor coming out.
Oh my gosh. Well, I got to get some of that GUR back in the bottle.
Last couple of things before we get into our talk with Alex. We talked about, again, the youth on this team with the roster turnover. And you and I have talked about it a little bit in the pre-games and in the post-games. I mean, outside of Alex and outside of LA, maybe a little bit with Charlotte last year, a little bit with some. But, I mean, when it comes to money on the line, games to win, there hasn't been a player on this roster in a Cougar uniform outside of those players that have had to be there and do that before. And again, that's what makes Alex coming back is so important. And then to see them to try and get that going as the season goes along with more experience, I think spells good things for the future of this program.
Yeah, I mean, everything that's happened, if we do it right, if we figure it out, we can really be effective. I mean, even Ken's, we thought Ken's would be a little bit of a different player than she is, but we're starting to figure out ways to make her more effective and where we can place her in positions and play. And I mean, we've had to stretch people into spots that they haven't done before. We've figured out what people can't do. They just, they're not good at that. And, now we just need to really, on every single game night, we need to give our players a real specific, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to attack it, and these are the places you're going to be on the court. And I really do think these kids can respond that way, and there's nothing wrong with not being something as a player. I'm a bad shooter. Okay, I'm not a good three-point shooter. There's nothing wrong with that unless you just are determined to show everybody you can shoot, and you can't. I mean, it's learning to play with something I'm not great at. Can I still be effective if I'm not great at this? Can I make other people around me better? Can I not hurt our team?
Have a positive impact instead of a negative impact.
Yeah. Like sometimes it's like, okay, I can't play pick and roll very good, so I'm just not going to put myself in that role to be that person. So everybody has to constantly put themselves in play in position to, yes, A, help the team, be a positive, and B, don't hurt the team. And that's not a negative. That's a high IQ player that knows how to, stay on the floor.
Sure.
And we say be easy to play with. Some players are just really hard to play with because they space the floor bad, or they take too many shots, or they're they don't understand the game. Some players are just, they got good feel. They know what Malia's a player like that. She knows, when in doubt, Malia goes, let me go screen. I'm just going to go screen somebody, because that usually ends up in a good situation. And that's not an instinct that everybody has. And that's a player that, when in doubt, you got to always fall back into something that's going to be a positive effect on your team.
Again, visiting with Coach Kamie Ethridge. I was going to ask her about the conference, but we'll get to that when we talk to her next. Let's go ahead and take a break. Then we'll bring Alex up here and bring Alex Scoville. How great is it to hear from her once again this season on these coaches shows, everybody. Kamie Ethridge, the Basketball Hour. We're here from the Lumberyard in Pullman, and we'll visit with Alex Scoville next. It's Cougar Basketball Hour right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Go Cougs.
Well, we are back once again to the Lumberyard in Pullman. It is your Cougar Basketball Hour. Not only have we had the head coach of Washington State University basketball, but now joined by Alex Scoville, post player out of Missoula, Montana. And again, listen to these numbers, folks. 26 points, a career high. 10 rebounds, a career high. First career double-double, 7 block shots, a career high. How good did that feel to get back out onto the court and to have that type of game and a win against Seattle University?
It felt really good. I was really impressed with my team and how they came out and played with me after I've been out for so long, so really have to give props to them.
Absolutely. You were fantastic to watch on Sunday, and obviously a fantastic performance. Let's go ahead and cross this bridge first. How do you feel? How did it feel to be out there for the 36 minutes? How are you health-wise right now? How's the nose doing?
The nose is doing good. Okay. It's still a little bruised at the top, but it's feeling better, and overall health-wise, I feel good. Yeah.
Did the face guard, did that give you a little of that grr factor that Kamie was talking about? Maybe is that like a mask that maybe brought out a little grr in you?
Yeah, I think it added a little spice to me, that's for sure.
Were you taunting? Is that true? Was there a little banner going on? I mean, there's always a little banner going on out there.
There was a little banner going on. Maybe not the most appropriate time to do it with 2 minutes left, but yeah.
I love it. Kamie Pros doesn't love it, but I love it. 26 points, again, 10 rebounds. What was it like? I'm sure everybody wants to know. Obviously, you play a couple games, then you have to have the long layoff before you come back. What was that period like before we even get to the West Coast Conference play of just having to be on the sideline and not being able to be out there on the court with your teammates?
It was hard. I wish I could have been out there to help them out and stuff like that. But honestly, I think being out, I got to see a lot of things. I got to learn a lot of lessons so that when I came back, I came back stronger.
And then with that, too, is there a little bit of you talking to Malia talking to you, and kind of, I don't know about coaching, but just the teammates working with one another, what you're seeing maybe from the bench, maybe, and then also the fact that you were able to see it from the bench and then be able to, again, go out and then apply it for your play later on in the season?
Yeah, I definitely watched very hard on the bench, and I probably annoyed some of my teammates at some point during timeouts because I was always yelling at them, like, to make sure to do this and that. But, yeah, I mean, even they were giving me pointers and stuff like that, and I learned a lot of lessons from them just watching them play. So, yeah.
You got, again, roster turnover, one of your buddies right here, LA, in attendance with you. But what's this new group been like to be around so far here in 2025, 2026?
It's been amazing. I really love this group. It's a group that I've never, like, it's a different atmosphere than I've ever, like, been in before, and we all work so well together. We're all so hungry to get better, and everyone competes really hard, and so I love playing with them.
What's your favorite thing to do on the road when you're out? I had that as one of our fan questions. When you're out and on the road and you have just a little bit of downtime, obviously you've got practices, obviously you've got scouts, obviously you've got study time because you're also a student athlete. When you get a little bit of free time, what's your most enjoyable thing to do, either for yourself or as a team?
Usually we go around and, like, walk around the city if we're in a bigger area and just, like, get coffee and go shopping if we have a lot of time. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. And then I did have another question, and that was, what do you do, if anything, to prepare for a game? Like, let's say you're getting ready for this game against Seattle University. What's your mindset going in? Do you have do you listen to music? Is there anything that's going on pre-game that's either a ritual for you or things that you do just to get ready for a game?
Well, usually I always take a nap before the game so that I'm rested. And then, I don't know, I just like to be chill and hang out with my teammates and stuff like that and just kind of relax. And then going into the game, I just like to remind myself that if I give 110% effort, that's all that matters, and that's all that the fans and coaches ask for, and most importantly, that's all I ask for. So.
Well, that's fantastic. What did it feel like to be over in Seattle and to have the amount of Cougar support that we had in that building, and even some of your former teammates were there as well?
It was great. Yeah, a lot of people showed up. I was not expecting that many fans to come, and we got to see my old teammate Jess, which was really nice. It was nice to see her, and so yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Can you stick around with me for one more segment? Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with more with Alex. Again, it's the Cougar Basketball Hour. Kamie Ethridge, and we're joined by Alex Scoville. We'll have more next. It's the Cougar Basketball Hour right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
This is the Cougar Basketball Hour. Tonight's show is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman or find them at every Cougar basketball hour this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Once again, back to the Lumberyard Food Hall in downtown Pullman. Here's Steve Grubbs.
Well, thank you very much. We are at the Lumberyard Food Hall in Pullman, our new venue for the Cougar Basketball Hour with Kamie Ethridge. Again, we'll be here each and every Tuesday night from 6 until 7 throughout the season. We'll be joined throughout the year with all of our players, and you'll get to know them on a little deeper and more personal level. Want to remind you, Cougar Nation, that each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards Program. Stay tuned for more information on how to become a Rewards Program member. Alex, did have somebody ask 6'6". Have you always been comfortable with being one of the tallest members out there? And did that height, did you inherit it from your family? And then I guess this is becoming a three-part question, and I already know the answer to this, but I'll let you answer it. Did your parents play college basketball?
Yes, both my parents played college basketball at the University of Montana, and both of them are very tall, so yes, I inherited the height for sure. And then also, I think maybe when I was younger, I wasn't always so confident in my height, but definitely playing basketball has helped me embrace it and learn that I can use it to my advantage. So now I'm completely fine with it. Yeah.
How competitive are mom and dad as far as when it comes to anything? Is not only sports, but just was there game nights? Were they competitive too, knowing that they were collegiate athletes? And you have a sister, right? Is that right? An older sister?
Yes. Me and my sister are very competitive. Sometimes we she's not as good as basketball as I am, but sometimes we play basketball out in our driveway and stuff, and it gets heated. But me and my parents, honestly, they were my coaches growing up, so I wasn't really playing against them so much. They were more giving me advice.
Okay. Again, got the win against Seattle University, 2-2 so far in West Coast Conference play. Just your thoughts going in. We get Oregon State coming up on Thursday, and really as we look forward to these next 2 months of the season, certainly not the results that we wanted to start off the season, but knowing that the whole season's still in front of us to accomplish the goals that we wanted to accomplish. Is that the way you guys are kind of looking at it as well?
Yes, exactly. I think a lot of us are hungry. We're ready to face some good competition, obviously, in conference play, but that's not going to scare us. I think we're ready to come and dominate and just do what we know that we can do best.
All right. Here's a couple of other fan questions that came in. Who on the team is the best singer of the team?
Oh, the best singer? Definitely not LA.
Okay.
I would say, sorry, you caught a stray there. I would say Tanya's a pretty good singer. She's always singing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a best dancer on the team?
Lauren.
That's Lauren.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oregon State, any thoughts on the Beavers? Again, the team that obviously you know pretty well. We played Oregon State. They're the one team that was with us in the old Pac-12. Now in the West Coast Conference will be with us going forward. Is there a rivalry with Oregon State? Do you kind of feel that? And it's just your thoughts as we get ready for the Beavers coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, I definitely sense a little bit of a rivalry, but I think a lot of us are focused. We're not really too concerned about all that stuff. We just want to go in and do the best that we can and know that they're going to be a really good team to play against, so we have to come focused.
What was some of the things that you were working on from last season heading into this season to make you an even better athlete and a better player for this upcoming season?
I think just continuing building my game down low, being strong down low, being aggressive and like Coach says. And then just expanding my range, continuing to expand my range. Hopefully soon enough I'll work my way out to the three-point line, but still a work in progress.
You're good there. You're hitting some shots from the elbow. I saw some good mid-range jumpers from you. So again, a fantastic effort from you on Sunday. Cougars get the win against Seattle University. What's it like to come in here and be able to see the fans that come out and root for you and support you all season long?
It's a lot of fun. I thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate your support. It's amazing. Yeah.
Double-double, 26 points, career high, 10 rebounds, career high, 7 block shots. One more time for Alex Scoville. We want to thank her for joining us right here on the Cougar Basketball Hour. We'll take a break. When we return, We'll get back with Coach E. That's on the way, but first we'll take a time out. This is the Cougar Basketball Hour on the Cougar Sports Network. We welcome you back here to the Lumberyard in Pullman. It is your Cougar Basketball Hour with the head coach of Washington State University Basketball, Kamie Ethridge. Don't forget, single game tickets to WSU men's and women's basketball. They are available right now at WSUCougars.com/ticks. Come experience all the action at Beasley Coliseum and cheer on the Cougars. And again, you can get yours today at WSUCougars.com/TIX. And we certainly want to see plenty of folks on hand at Beasley Coliseum coming up on Thursday. Oregon State coming to town. I understand that we've got our 509 rally towels that you'll be getting if you want to make your way, so that way you can get yourself a rally towel and wave that. Coach, what I was going to talk to you about next and decided to hold off until now because we do have Oregon State and more West Coast Conference action coming up. 2-2 so far in West Coast Conference action. Obviously, I know you're concerned about the next opponent and concerned about the four opponents that we played, and you go game by game, but just your thoughts on the West Coast Conference as a whole here in 25-26. To me, it seems like it's a little more balanced top to bottom. Would you agree with that, or would you disagree with that?
Well, I can't. I don't know yet.
Right.
I mean, you know, people played not very good non-conference schedules.
Right.
Everybody's kind of beating everybody. It looks very balanced. It looks like anyone can beat anyone. So matchups, you know, you can't look at scores and go, well, they beat someone by 20, so therefore this. That stuff doesn't work. So I think we've talked to the team, like, we can beat anybody and anybody can beat us. I mean, that really is the nature of it, and we have to find ways to make sure that we are playing our best basketball, that we bring our best selves every single time we step on the floor. And we got to keep getting better. I really do think this team can continue to get better every week. And, you know, we want to be playing our best basketball as we go through this conference season.
Did get a couple of questions in as far as our fans are concerned. The first one is, what does it take for a role player to make the jump to be a constant and consistent contributor?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I wish I could bottle it up and answer it. You know, I do think there's certain players that come into your program that are just ready. And I think LA is an example of a player that, you know, sometimes we say this about our players, and I don't mean it to be mean. It's not to be mean, but it's the reality of where we are. Sometimes we recruit players that have holes in their game. Like they're not good at this part of the game. And if they're not good at a part of the game, they need to be elite at something else. Like if Beanie is short, she better be a high energy player, because you got to overcome something in your game. If you can't shoot it, you got to be something special. You got to be a great passer. You got to be a great leader. You got to be a great defender. So part of it is certain holes in your game really keep you from stepping into roles. And one of the things that I think really has hurt us this year is just not having enough ball handling. That has hurt us so badly. It hurt us really badly against Portland. And we have versatile players, but our versatile players aren't good enough ball handlers. So that's a big emphasis that we can work on over the summer, over the spring. We can give our kids, this is what we need you to work on. But it's hard to get better at ball handling, like next week. You're not going to improve stuff like that. So, it's a little bit of you gotta be in the bright lights. You gotta want the pressure. You gotta be calm in those moments, and you gotta produce. And the game is really, really hard, and that's why you just need to excel at something. You need to be so good at something that keeps you on the floor. The problem sometimes that we have is, our kids are really inconsistent even at the things that they're really great at. And then that they can't ever become that contributor because they're not consistent enough. So we've got a lot of good players. Like Keandra is an amazing shooter. She's just really inconsistent. She's a redshirt freshman, and the game is really fast. And she made a huge three. She had good minutes this last game, but consistently she hasn't been sharp enough yet. She's a redshirt freshman. We've got those players that have some talent and have some real skills that we need them to produce. It's hard to duplicate every single game. That's why when you get players like LA who literally walked into our program and produced as a freshman and sophomore and now as a junior, that's why you just gotta love those kinds of players, and you gotta put other really good players around them and hope that those guys develop.
How important has she been this season for you to just not only be there every single game for you, even though she has been beat up and hasn't been 100%, but to be out there and be that team leader for this program? And when people see the 20 points in the first half against the LU, the 22 points total, the amount of time she's gotten at 20-plus this season, but just being that leader by what she does out on that court for the younger players to learn from, this is how to act and how to become a collegiate basketball player going forward.
Well, I don't know. I can't say enough good things about LA in that way. Like, again, I look at her as a person and as a player and as a person off the court. I mean, really, she's a happy person, and she has a lot of, she wants to be happy. She wants to be around people that are happy, and, she doesn't say bad things about anybody, and I don't really think anybody really says bad things about her. And she's, and I've asked her about that a few times, like, are you nervous? Why you're not nervous in that situation? And she's like, I'm always nervous, but I just start to play, and I just play on through it. And what a gift!
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference. Is other people are so crazy in their thinking, and their brains are going too fast, and they speed up, and they talk bad to themselves and about themselves and during the game. And there's a calmness about LA. Now, is she perfect? No. Do I wish she could speak better? Yes. Do I wish she would yell at her teammates some? Yes. And she doesn't. But that's not really her. Right. What we need is someone else that's yelling at everybody else and helping her along the way. And again, that's you got to have strong point guard play and really high IQ point guard play. I think that could help her in those situations. Again, we just need more support around her. Having Alex back around her is going to help. We got to get a few more other people that are going to produce every game.
I think we've already kind of gone around this, but I'll ask it anyway. The second question here, and that is, as a team, how can we best beat the teams when they press us? We obviously had some problems against Portland, and again, you've talked a little bit about it here. Anything else you want to add to that?
Well, some things I just don't think I have to coach.
Right.
And shame on me, but there are a lot of coaches out there that don't have to coach how to get open.
Right.
they have just players that just know how to get open, and some of it is we don't have as much quickness. And again, the ball handling phase of it is, if I'm not a great ball handler, I can't put myself in position to try to dribble up and cross over and behind the back. I mean, I have to know my limits on what I should be doing in a press. So it's our job, it's my job to make us break the press every single day in practice from here on out and put them through so much adversity in that. We did after the Portland game, and I thought we got a little bit better at just understanding shortening passes and the IQ of what we need to do and what Portland did to us. So all we can do is put them in those spots. They want to be better. We're capable of being better. We made really bad decisions. And, good for, it's good for us, and we're going to need to, and even LMU did that to us. So it's an area that we've got to work on every single day, and I think we can get better as we go.
Yeah, and Cougars getting ready for a couple of home games. We'll talk about the opponents and the schedule coming up. We'll go ahead and take another break, and then we'll come back and talk about the Beavers and the matchup on Saturday as well. Again, it's your Cougar Basketball Hour with the head coach of Cougar Basketball, Kamie Ethridge. Thank you for joining us from the Lumberyard, your Cougar Basketball Hour on the Cougar Sports Network. We welcome you back. It is the Lumberyard in Pullman, your new venue for the Cougar Basketball Hour with head coach Kamie Ethridge. Again, heading your way Tuesdays this season from 6 until 7. You can earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. Did have another question come in, and that is, as a staff, when you have two opponents coming up this week like you do this week at Beasley Coliseum, you get Oregon State and then you get Santa Clara. The nice thing is it's not one of those split weekends that you sometimes get in this conference. But how do you prepare? Is it all about Oregon State until you finish with Oregon State, or do you spend a little bit of time on Santa Clara? How do you guys attack that as a staff?
It's we have 2 days of Oregon State, so we watched film today of Oregon State. We'll watch film tomorrow of Oregon State and just work on them and us, just what we think will, we know how they'll guard us. We have ideas of what they'll do. So we have our practice guys are back, so we have a good, a group that can try to play like them. And then we have, it's a hard day in between because it's one right. Film session of the other team. Same for them too. I mean, and and in years past, we have been elite at scouting.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had players that get it, that can get personnel, that don't make mistakes. And this year is a little bit different. They're not as good. They're just They don't get the personnel down right. They make a lot of mistakes, and again, we have to be we just have to keep sharpening what we're telling them and making sure that they have the most important things down. But yeah, Santa Clara will be the game in between, and I don't even think we'll have a pregame shoot because I don't know. No, what is Saturday night's game? What time do we play?
Let's see. We got
night.
I need these now too. We got Thursday against Oregon State. That is a matchup at 6 o'clock, and then Saturday at noon against Santa Clara.
Noon. Yeah. So we won't have a shoot around. It'll be one game, which again for us it's a good thing because we get them when they have to travel to us.
Right. Anything on Oregon State for those that are going to be in attendance or that are going to be listening here on the radio? What have you seen off of Oregon State off of the tape? Not that you need to give away state secrets or anything, but what have you seen out of Oregon State?
Well, I mean, Scott does an amazing job of putting players in positions to be exactly what that player can do. And they've got a great point guard that's not a good shooter, but it doesn't matter. She's just a competitor and gritty and finds ways to score and gets the ball to the people that score a lot. And Jenna's been great. She's just looked at the basket. She gets people off balance. She gets to the rim. They get to the free throw line. I mean, just all the things they don't change. Scott doesn't change. He just puts in players, and this is your role, and this is what you do, and this is the decision. You have two decisions, this or that. And they're very specific at what they do, and they're very good at what they do, and they don't beat themselves. And so we kind of know them, and we definitely have a plan to how to guard them, and we think that they're going to just go under on every ball screen because they're looking at our stats and saying they can't shoot. So we got to step into some shots and make sure that we get good looks at the basket and make some threes.
Again, Thursday night, 6 o'clock, 5:40 will be the pregame show. The Beavers come to town, and then Saturday at noon, Santa Clara. And again, if you make your way out Thursday, you can get one of these rally towels, the 509 towels, so make sure you show up to Beasley, 6 o'clock. Just a few minutes left in the show, so let's take one final break, then we'll come back and wrap things up for the hour with the head coach. We'll do it next. This is your Cougar Basketball Hour, live from the Lumberyard in Pullman on the Cougar Sports Network. Well, again, back for the final few minutes of the show. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour with the head coach of Washington State University basketball, Kamie Ethridge. I want to remind you that today's broadcast brought to you by Coors Light, Mountain Cold Refreshment, Choose Chill, proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly. Is it nice, Coach, now? I mean, again, we had the Christmas holiday. We had New Year's. I mean, me personally, I was just trying over the last couple of weeks, waking up and trying to figure out what the heck day it was, whether it was a Monday, whether it was a Thursday, whether it was a Friday. We're now kind of more into a set schedule now that the holidays are behind us. Tuesdays we'll have our coaches show. Thursday's game, Saturday's game. Every once in a while we'll have a bye here and there. But is it nice, especially after having the 4 games in a week's time right after the Christmas holiday? Is it nice now to get back on a regular schedule for you and your program?
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. I think slugging through those 4 games was really hard. You know, Oregon State had a bye already.
Yeah.
So they've spent a lot more time on us maybe than obviously we are going to, but I love having buys a little later when we need them, because I think it is fatiguing. So I like buys later in January and as late as possible in February. But yeah, the routine, we're not in school yet, so this week's going to be great for us, these few days that we've had, and then back to school, you know, next week, and very much a routine at that point.
Again, how nice is it to be back here with the friends and family that support this program, and to do this again on a weekly basis with the Cougar Basketball Hour.
I love it, and we're leaving from here, and we're going to the airport to pick up our recruit that's finally getting here, that mid-year player who is not going to play for us this year, but you'll see her on the bench coming up. Tahara will be here, and this is the thing about this team, and we may not be the best basketball team, but man, these are the highest character people you will ever meet. Like, they all are making signs, or some of them are making signs for her. They're all meeting at the dorm. We're going to have pizza for them when she arrives. So it is, and they all want to be there, and they all want to give and just support her and bring her in and be a part of our team. And again, just high quality people, great teammates. You know, you want really good things for them, and I really do believe that we can turn our season around and create some winning opportunities for ourselves, and just appreciate you guys supporting us in every way that you do. You mean the world to us, and just can't say thank you enough.
We'll be here Tuesday nights. Coach, as always, thanks for your time.
Go Cougs!
Go Cougs, indeed. We'll be with you 6 o'clock Thursday night when the Cougars take on the Oregon State University Beavers. Thanks to the Lumberyard. Thanks to every one of you out there joining us here at the Lumberyard in Pullman. And if you're watching this on the stream or on the radio listening, we thank you for joining us as well. Back here again next week at Tuesday, and again Thursday night against Oregon State. But you've been listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour with Kamie Ethridge right here on the Cougar Sports Network.